Hey, it's Brittany from Spencer Pirates. This is going to be actually, it's 3 matches from locals the other night at our normal spot that we've been going to for a year now, so that's pretty fun. I am playing against Jack Pan, and he brought Purple Yellow Robin, and I don't know, he said it was his first time playing it in person. So that's fun. And this is my first time ever playing this deck. I just kind of threw it together because we pulled the leader. So I do my searchy search and I grab the Zoro and then I debate and then I throw it on there so that Law is a +1 cost and then I pass turn. And I had to remember that obviously Robin gets banished, and so that actually that really kills me this match. But I had to trash that secret Luffy past my turn. I'm at 4 Dawn now. Based on what's in my hand, the next move, there's like no question about it. It needs to be that Zoro. So I do lose my Dawn. Like it just disappeared and then it came back. So that was really weird. We both were looking for it, but that's what I do. I believe I go ahead and I tap that 3 Dawn and I play Zoro. And I was so worried about getting my leader ability that I didn't get Zoro's ability. So I should have ramped one more active Dawn and I didn't. But I swung 7. So I'm supposed to be at 5 Dawn and I just didn't know. That was my fault. But now I pass turn to him. He's at 6 Dawn and he trashes my life. I'm already down to 2 life. It's absolutely insane. That deck just completely crushed me. It's probably not even a surprise who won this deck or won this match. My turn again. I'm at 6 Dawn. And I'm just kind of debating on what to do. I did a lot of sitting and thinking tonight. So I go ahead and tap 4 and I play the Frankie Dawn -2. I trash a card, draw 2, and then my leader ability, I get I get 1 rested and 1 active Dawn back. So it's a pretty good board so far. I got my searcher, got Zoro, and then I got my leader. So I debate here whether or not I want to swing big or more swings. And I think we talked about it a little bit, and I think decided to just do more swings. So I swung 5 with Law, 5 with Zoro, and then 5 with my leader. I wanted to do Zoro first in case he got a trigger from life. I wanted to have another swing. I didn't want him KOing one of my characters, but he's already at 9 Dawn because he keeps ramping and throwing away those trigger cards. So that's kind of terrifying. And then he goes and KOs my blocker, which he's just KOing everything, which is great. He like played this deck very, very well. He ended up placing second this night. So good job to Jack. I was really proud of him and happy for him. He swings, and I got no counter in my hand. Realized how bricky this deck is. So I'm already at 1 life. He swings into my Zoro, and then he accidentally puts his Dawn in his trash, but then I was like, hey, you put your Dawn in your trash. He's like, oh, thanks. Plays that Shirahoshi, and then he passes his turn to me. So I'm at 8 Dawn. I could throw down my Gecko. I can't remember what I did. Nope. I was thinking about throwing down the Gecko, but then I ended up attaching the Dawn and swinging with my leader. So at that point, I'm only at 7 Dawn to use. And he 2K'd out of that. But I did a lot of thinking. I sped up the video because of it, because I just sat and did a lot of thinking with this deck because I just didn't really know. And honestly, we were kind of just like talking through things. I was like, well, I want to do this, I want to do this. But I went ahead and did the Sanji route. So I did the one-legged toy soldier, lowered his Robin, and then KO'd his Robin off of Sanji. And, that's what black do, I guess. So now it's his turn. And I think before even my last turn started, I told him, I was like, I can't get out of this. Like, you have this, dude. I have like no counter in my hand. But I just wanted to play it out just in case. But he goes ahead and he swings with his leader. I have to trash that. And then I told him, you don't have to think very hard. And I only had to get a counter. So he got that easy. Jack Pack wins. And then we move on to the next match. This one is going to be a mirror match between me and Shun, who I'm going to tag in the description below because he has his own YouTube. Make sure you go and follow. He helped me a lot with this deck since he's been playing it for a little bit. So we roll for turn. Shun decided to go second. And we both mulligan. But I always love playing Shun because he He's just very knowledgeable, and he helped me with just some strategy and stuff with this match. So we show our hand. I basically have the same play, and I even have my alt art law. So I play that, I search, and I grab a Zoro, which, like I said, once I found out what his ability was, it's you have to have that in your hand. He searches and pulls that Usohachi into his hand, and he applies just like what I did last turn or last game. He applies the Dawn to his leader, so everything's +1. And just like last game, I played another Zoro, and then he was like, "Oh, you're supposed to ramp another one. There you go." And I was like, "Oh, well, that would have been nice to know." It wouldn't have changed my last match whatsoever, but now I know. It's an insane card, definitely made for this leader. So I swing, and he takes that life, and then I pass on to Shun. Look at those Uta Dawn, so pretty. So now he's at 4 Dawn as well. Since I ramped, we're at the same amount of Dawn. He does a little bit of thinking here, and I believe he plays these, yes, that Treasure Rare Zoro Juro from the starter deck. It's an alt art from the starter deck, I think 18. It's the purple Luffy starter deck. I could be wrong. I'll do that in post edit if I'm wrong. So he swings. I go ahead and counter with Onami, and then it's my turn. So it is now 6 Dawn, and when I was rewatching this and editing, I was like, I did the same thing, literally the exact same things I did last match. So Law into a Zoro into a Frankie seems to be a pretty good game progression, I guess you could say. So I trashed that card, draw 2. I got a little bit of 2K counter, so I'm having a little bit more counter this round than I did last round. I remember seeing like the secret Luffys, a Gecko, and 2 Sanjis. So I did the exact same thing, and I swing with Law, swing with Zoro, and then swing with my leader, and he counters out of all of them. I was like, dang, he had all the counter in his hand. Okay, and then so now it's his turn. He swings at my Law and gets rid of my pretty Law, and then I have to look at it because I like it so much, because you all know that Law is my favorite character. And then he throws down his Zoro, so just a whole lot of the same stuff. He's just got that board full of Zoros with a Law, and he got to ramp his Dawn. And he swings at my Zoro, and then I went ahead and countered it, and he was like, well, I would have let it go if you want to have or you would have, probably blocked with Frankie to get Frankie into your trash if you have a Gecko. And I'm just like, I don't have a Gecko. I don't think I saw my Geckos once this match. So I wanted to keep it for the board presence. So that's what I did. I went ahead and kept it, and then Zoro kind of was a little bit of a pseudo blocker because then he swings at Zoro again, and then I let him go. So yeah, we're there. I just have a blocker on my board, and I am now at 8 Dawn, and not a whole lot of options. I think at this point, I mean, I'm still at 4 life, so it could go either way, although I wasn't feeling very confident. One, because I have never really played this deck, and him and I were chatting, because he also has played Purple Luffy, I think, but he's also played Red Purple Luffy a lot, and I told him that this deck feels way different than Purple Luffy, which is another one I've played. Here I sped it up a bunch, because I just kept using my Dawn. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. But with this deck, it's not as much ramping. It's just like Dawn minusing, getting it back, and just like getting some cards back active. So I do Black Maria's effect at the end of the turn, but I do a lot of thinking. I attach 3 Dawn. I try to get rid of his Zoro Juro, but then he 2Ks out of that, which is crazy. And then I'm like, okay, I'm putting down another blocker, so I go ahead and I swing with Frankie. Or no, I have a Gum Gum Giant in my hand. So I felt pretty confident go ahead and swing in with Frankie. So at least got some cards out of his hand. He's only got 2 in his hand, it looks like. But he hits me with a 5K from Law, and I believe I got a little bit of counter. And then there we go. Yep, I countered out of that one. And then I used the Gum Gum, and I get to draw. Didn't draw into any counter at all. And then boom, boom. And I had to show the camera because I only had that Sanji in my hand, and just so much bricking. It's absolutely insane. I think I pulled a 10. I had a 10 cost Luffy in my hand, and then I have 2 secrets in my hand. So, okay. I thought my computer died, but it didn't. So let's continue this voiceover. I sped this part up because I sat there and I thunk and I thunk and I thunk because I was like, what do I do? Nine Dawn turn, I could either be defensive or more aggressive. So I swung into his not pretty Zoro, and killed that. And then I played a Sanji and was hoping that that would help with just being a little bit more defensive. So I'm only at one life. He's got like 4 attacks at this point. And I have no counter. Look at that. I have that Luffy, and I have 2 secret Luffys and an Ice Age in my hand. And I countered with my only 2K. So he swung at my life. I blocked with Sanji, and then he swung again, and I did that. And of course, he dropped his his 10 cost Luffy. And at this point, I'm cooked. So I'm sitting there just waiting to die because I have no counter in my hand. If I do, it's not enough. So he swings. I have to take it. Boom. And then there goes that. And I didn't have crap in my hand. So yay, Shun got that one. Woohoo. Go Shun. He ended up getting 4th that night. Okay, so this third match against Taj, he is playing Red Shanks. And this is going to be my first time playing Red Shanks. I didn't realize while we were playing that he didn't have a playmat. Usually if someone doesn't have a playmat, I just don't play with a playmat so that it just feels a little bit more fair. I don't know. It feels weird when I have a playmat and they don't. But I went ahead and went first. We agreed ladies first. So I went and I had to just real quick double check his leader ability. I knew, but just wanted to confirm. I haven't played a whole lot. Didn't do my research for OP09. So my turn now, 3 Dawn turn. Obviously, I've seen him every single game this night. Play that Zoro, get that 2 Dawn back, and then swing 7 at his life. He takes that. I think he has played this purple black deck more than I have because he was really helping me a lot too during this game. So I guess we'll see who wins at the end. Who knows if it's fair or not, but he plays that Lucky Roo, and I'm like, gosh, that's on KO, and then he can KO a base 6 cost or 6 power or less. So I really didn't want to use that, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, I don't want him to KO my guy, but I mean, or my Zoro, but I only have the Zoro on the board, so I was like, well, I'll swing with Zoro, and then if I want to do anything, then maybe I'll play something. Because I figured he was actually going to KO my Zoro, but we'll see what happens. So I'm counting my Dawn, and I go ahead and swing at his life, and he counters out of that. So I was like, well, okay, what do I do now? So I have all this Dawn. I think I might have either there's a trigger from his life. I can't remember if it's this turn or not. I guess we'll see. So I save 3 Dawn, and I swing at his life, and it effectively is a 6K swing, and he counters out of that. Yep. And then I was like, well, I don't know what to do with my Dawn. I think I might have misallocated my Dawn. So I was like, okay, I'll just pass to you. So I just kind of screwed that up a little bit. He just boom, boom, boom. He's super quick. He's very knowledgeable, and he plays all the time. So he's really good at this game. Plays Karina, and then he swings, gets rid of my Zoro with Uta. Uta, is so powerful. And then I counter. He plays another Uta, does his little searchy search, and pulls in that wanted Shanks. I was like, oh crap, that's coming sometime. My turn again. I'm at 8 Dawn already. This might be the first time tonight I play my Gecko Moria, as you saw me looking at my trash, and he's right there on top. And yeah, we were talking a little bit. Okay, so yeah, I swung at his Uta. I was like, I just don't want his Uta there because they can reduce my power. Whoop, and then I dropped my Dawn. He was like, watch out. And I'm like, oh, no. So I grabbed my Dawn. I play the Frankie, trash a card. I trashed a Sanji, and I grabbed a Sanji. So now I still have 2 Sanji. I was hoping for a little bit of counter, but later on, it's actually advantageous for me to have that second Sanji in my hand. So he takes a quick second. It's his turn now. Let's see. We're both at 4 life. Both feeling pretty healthy. He rallies me, gets rid of my my blocker, and I'm sweating a little bit. He's got 2 blockers and a rally on board. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So he swings, and I counter 1K, and then I was like, I don't have this. There was a lot of people talking at us, and I was like, I don't know how to play this deck. You have this. And he's like, have some faith. So I was like, okay. But yeah, I've had to speed up these matches, because I'm sitting here thinking so much. I felt bad. I don't think any of us went to time tonight, but I swung at his life. He blocked with his Karina, which I think was one of Charlie's first alt arts in that set. So I play the rush Luffy, and then I got the heart of the cards. Like, I got that extra Dawn back, and I pulled the top knot off the top of my life, or the top of the deck, and I was like, okay, great, now I can use that to bottom deck his Lucky Roo. So I was like super happy when I got that. But yeah, that was heart of the cards right there. Perfect timing for that. That helped a lot. At this point now, he's got 2 big bodies. We both have 2 big bodies. He swings at my, I think he swung at Gecko, and Gecko is, I don't remember. I think Gecko's at full power again. And then he swings again at Gecko, and then he gets it. So he kind of was a pseudo blocker there, then swings at life. It was an Ice Age. I don't even know why I considered triggering, because I need it for either the Rayleigh or the Shanks, and I target the Shanks, so I throw that on there, and he was like teasing me because he can tell by the way I allocate my Dawn. He's like, okay, so you put a Dawn there, that's an Ice Age, and then you have a Sanji in your hand, and blah 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 blah, and boom, right there I pull my Ice Age out, I lower Shanks, and with Luffy's leader ability, Sanji is at a 6 cost, so Sanji can KO a 5 cost. And then I swing at his Rayleigh, and boom, 1 turn I clear his board, and then essentially a 6k swing at life with his leader ability and my 2 Dawn attached. It's now his turn. I'm feeling pretty good because now he's at 2 life and I'm at 3. I have a big body on the board. He doesn't really have anything, but red do what red do, and they have rush. It's terrifying. He plays that. I think that lowers my Luffy. I can't quite remember. So he does something with that event. I'll have to look up what that does. And then he plays Shariah, has all this Dawn left. And then I believe he's just like, I'm just going to attach a bunch of Dawn. And boom, Luffy's gone. My turn now. I have a Sanji on board. And I think I have some good options. I have another Sanji in my hand. And that Shariah is the only thing that I want to like kind of take care of. So it seemed kind of like a no-brainer to go ahead and attach that Dawn there, so I have a 6 cost or more on my board, and then just pop that Shariah. But I go ahead and use Zoro, which Shun literally told me last match that when you're at 10 Dawn, you want to do Zoro's ability first, so that way you get basically 2 more active Dawn. So that's what I did. I Dawn minused off of Zoro's ability, got my active Dawn, and then I did my leader ability, got another active Dawn. So I played Sanji, popped his blocker, and then he did something to my leader, so I had all this extra Dawn, lowered my leader's power, so I couldn't swing at his life. Well, I could. It was a 5k swing, but then he was like, leader ability, and I was like, okay. So I essentially didn't even attack, but he Ben Beckman's one of my Sanjis, and then tries to get rid of my other Sanji, and I'm like, how many Dawn do you have? He's like, none. So I empty my hand, and I protect my Sanji, because I'm like, well, I might have a good chance. He's got so many cards in his hand, but it was the last match of the night. I honestly didn't really care to win, or I didn't really wasn't really playing. There's Tav for you. He's just like, I'm just gonna mess with Brittany's camera, so he's poking in at that. I swing, he takes that, and I'm like, okay, there he is again. So I'm swinging, and then Taj is just talking away. But we're gonna do a quick little listen in.
Give him my option. He should have said Blackbeard. Hey.
So am I beating you or not? Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Just kidding. She said, sir, pay attention to this whooping.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
That's disgusting.
That's gross.
That's why I don't know if I need to run the Waffle's Nest.
That's why I don't know if I need to run Dragon.
Yeah, I played him twice
All
now.
this counter in my hand is just so crazy. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, like you're at the
10.
You got nothing?
But yeah, so he probably could have countered out of that swing, but he didn't have anything else in his hand to get out of my leader ability, or my leader swing. So I still had Gum Gum Giant. I was ready to use that, but that was the only match I feel like I don't know if I deserve to win because he helped me so much. So thank you, Taj. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed these Peanut Butter Luffy matches, and we will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much.